Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I have this beautiful collection from our friends at Heartfelt Creations. It's cottage garden hydrangea. They make the most beautiful hydrangeas. Here's a card that my friend Debbie made. Look at the color and the dimension on that. And with the mold and the cutting dies and the stamp, it makes it so easy to put together. No more cutting out and embossing all those little blossoms. So we've got lots more to show you, so come play with us. So let me show you how to make this beautiful hydrangea card that my friend Debbie made. The first thing I should mention, for her background, she used just lavender pastel cardstock and new from hot off the press with this all over script stamp, which is beautiful. And she embossed the script with this wonderful glittery light blue. This is Spring Sparkle Blue embossing powder. It's very glittery and beautiful. And then she also used, for her little oval frame, the 12 oval and scallop cutting dies to make this beautiful white frame. Okay, so let's get to how all of this is put together. So the first thing Debbie did was stamp the full hydrangea, and she used sort of from the green and yellow, or yellow and green, Cat IQ, she used this medium, here we go, medium shade of green to do this stamping portion. And then she did the same when using both sets. This is the larger and the smaller hydrangea blossom stamps. She stamped those, and then we did a little die cutting. So this is how this works. The dies are perfectly aligned with those stamps. I like to just put a little bit of stencil tape on there to keep that in position. Right, and now we got to get our die cutting machine. Oops, forgot my platform here. I have to make a big reach to get it. There we go. All right, so starting out with some brand new plates. I remembered to get new ones. Some of you have seen the very well-loved plates I generally use. So because these are new plates, this is going to be really loud crackle sound. Okay, we're just going to run those through our Big Shot die cutting machine. And I like to use the Big Shot just because the manual machines are pretty standard with people who use cutting dies. They're wonderful electronic machines. But I just want to make sure that this is also one that has a more narrow platform. If it works through this machine, it'll work through any electronic machine that you have. All right. So once all of those little blossoms are cut out, you just pop them right out like this, and then we get to do some fun coloring. Okay, so for this I'm going to use my craft sheet because we're going to make a mess. And we're also going to use our blending tool, and I'm just going to take a few of these here. All right, so here's some already done. And the first thing we do is take a little bit of green, that same medium green, and we're just doing a little bit of that right in the center of each one of the blossoms. All right, so once that center has some green in it, then we're going to go back to both our purple and blue inks, and this is sort of a periwinkle blue. Then we just took each one of these petals and used the surface of the ink pad. Maybe we could zoom in a little bit on this, Steve. And there we go. All right, there's one. Now we use sort of this violet color for the other. All right, there we go. Hers are a little bit darker. You know what I always say, you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So I tend to be a little conservative when I'm inking. All right, well, looks like I didn't need my mat after all. All right, then what you're gonna do is take this wonderful mold. This is really the best part, because if you don't have this mold, what you're gonna end up doing is taking a piece of foam and a stylus, and you're gonna end up shaping each one of these. But Heartfelt Creations has come to our rescue. So I have all of these inked blossoms here. Go. And we're just going to load up. There's a difference in size here. There's a small and a large. And you'll see there's sort of a cross shape here, cross shape right here, okay? And you want to make sure that your petal is aligned with that, okay? And that's what's going to do the embossing. So if you had it kind of offset like this, you'd be missing those. So line those up like that. All right. We'll do some small ones here. All right, so I'm not, just to save us time, I'm not going to fill up the entire tray. It takes a while. All right, so now I just have plain water in a mister. And I'm just doing a little bit of mist on the back of that inked cardstock. All right, so now this is how, there's a notch on each one here, and we just align up the notches here. You don't have to try to figure out which way is which. All right, now, once this is squeezed together, right, you think, oh, I could just take it off. And one time I did try that. I tried not running it through the die cutting machine, and I was amazed that the die cutting machine, even though it seems to put no pressure, really very little pressure, it really is necessary. So we want to take our mold and sandwich it between our plates. Okay, and we're going to put it through our machine. And as I said, you're putting it through here and there just seems like there's no resistance. It just goes right through. But it's just enough that it really does make a difference. And then if you feel like, well, that's just not quite enough, you could also just take a piece of white cardstock and then you could just shim that as well. Give it a little bit more pressure. All right. Here's all of our lovely blossoms. They're already shaped in the mold, so they're just ready to go. I like to let them dry just for a few minutes. They're not really wet, they're a little damp, okay? And then, while that's drying, we're gonna take care of our full blossom here. And with that, I do the same thing. I just take the cutting die and I line that, put that through the machine just like I did the blossoms. So you get this wonderful shape, right? And then we're going to do a little coloring with this as well. Take our blending brush again. And then with this, Debbie used that kind of limey green, and you don't need to do a very accurate job on the full blossom because that's going to get covered, okay? So you see here on her original card, she did cover that, but little things do tend to peek through, so you want to make sure that you're at least using the same colors that you did for your individual blossoms when coloring this head of the hydrangea. So I'm just using this sort of limey green. Now we're going to go to the middle green. I like to blot my ink when I'm doing a darker ink. I like to blot that before going right onto the paper. You don't get a big circle of dark ink on your paper. All right, so we're done there. And we're going to I'm going to clean off my ink, my stylus. All right, we're going to just do the background in just a little bit of a light purple. I don't think we need to go and do the entire thing in all the same colors. We're just trying to cover up any little bits that sneak through. Okay, so we would do this all the way around. Okay, so once that happens, this doesn't need embossing, but we can do a little bit of shaping with our leaves, and that's easy enough to do. So you could just take your embossing, or rather your ball tool, and put that on some foam, and then just do that little bit of shaping there. As you can see, Debbie did that right here to give her leaves a little bit of dimension. Okay, so let's move on to another kind of card. All right, so here's one, and maybe we could move out a little bit, Steve. Here's one where we've got some individual blossoms. And what I did here, instead of using white cardstock and stamping on them, what I did was I just took just a plain blue cardstock, and I did a little bit of inking along the edges with a little bit of turquoise ink. Just like that, just to give it a little depth. And then I made just a whole bunch of individual blue blossoms. Okay, and then placed inside of each one just a clear crystal. This is sparklets. They're wonderful little mix of rhinestones and whatnots, and this is called Coral Coast. So I just placed one of those in the center of each, and then did the leaves in the same way that I did this, and then I just cut them off. So just snip those off right there, did a little bit of shaping on them so that you have a little bit of dimension. And this frame I made with the 12 scallop rectangles from hot off the press, the cutting dies. Those are brand new. And also the paper pack is from Swirls Upon Twirls, so it's got this wonderful blue, and even the little sentiment, Scatter Kindness, is from that paper pack as well. You can see this card, you don't always have to do a hydrangea in that typical beautiful blossom, but you can also use those individual blossoms to scatter. All right, I have one more card to show you. All right, this one, we can move in a little bit, Steve. This one, I used the entire stamp, the blossom, and I didn't use any of the individual blossoms. So this one was just really easy to color. I used the Tri-Blend markers from Spectrum Noir. This one is the pink, pale pink. I also used the bright pink and then the dull green pens. And here I just started out by coloring the centers with the bright pink. And then I just blended the pale pink so that there was just a really different, like a variance in color, and it just really popped out. And then I colored the darker areas of the leaf with the dark part of the pen from the dull green, and then blended that with the lighter color, which is on the opposite end. And if you're not familiar with the Tri-Blend pen by Spectrum Noir, they are brilliant. You get 3 shades, 3 pens in each marker, and so blending just becomes so easy and so effortless. I love that. So as you can see, 3 different kinds of cards made. Oh, I should mention here on this one, this paper pack is from Lace and Roses paper pack by Hot Off the Press. And I also used this wonderful white lacy trims by 49 and Market. It's wonderful lace. I used the medium lace here and the thin lace here, and then just added a little bit of yellow twine for a little more pop of color. And then the Happy Everything cutting die is from our friends at Creative Expressions. So fun to use that. So you can see this one collection from Heartfelt Creations, and you get 3 very different kinds of hydrangea cards. So thanks for peeking in on me today and enjoying this video. I wanted to make sure you knew about the Money Saver. It's on the right side of our screen. Just click on that and it'll take you to that Money Saver. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can purchase the Money Saver on this collection by looking in the description below, and you'll see a link that says Money Saver. And then also there's another link to paperwishes.com where you can come and watch more videos and find all kinds of great products. So thanks for joining me today.